Seems like 1,000 years ago. I fought my way out of that cave, became Iron Man. Realized I loved you. I know I said no more surprises, but I was really hoping to pull off one last one.
The world has changed. None of us can go back. All we can do is our best. And sometimes the best that we can do is to start over.
I saw all these people die. I keep telling everybody they should move on. Some do, but not us.
Even if there's a small chance, we owe this to everyone who's not in this room to try.
We will. Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
I like this one.
Seems like 1,000 years ago. I fought my way out of that cave, became Iron Man.
I like that.
Realized I loved you. I know I said no more surprises, but
I love how the music comes in, leaning more on the flashbacks to build up the anticipation based on the years of accumulation of stories. I really think Hawkeye is going to be the standout, and I really hope that they actually I really hope he has a major role, because I really think that they could really do a whole lot with. I think he's going to come out as a guy that on the low, people going to be like, yo, Hawkeye. He's going to have the intense story, and I think he deserves that. And I think they could do something real special with Scarlett Johansson, Black Widow.
I keep telling everybody they should move on. Some do, but not us.
Even if there's a small chance, we owe this to everyone who's not.
And I like how they really make it a point to show you that they have a history.
We will.
And Thor's gonna put it down. I like how they doing Thor. Hey, my baby.
Whatever it takes.
I fuck with Ant-Man. Fucks with Ant-Man. And this is the money shot. I love this. The new suits. I like the music. Like it feels like it's gonna be way more intense. Way more intense. And when you hear the music, you already feel it. This is a cool way to end it, though. I don't know. She looks a little extra here, but I still haven't seen the movie. I know about all the nonsense with it. I'm not gonna touch on that in this video because I didn't even see the movie, so I can't really even suggest anything. I hope she plays well. I hope the interaction is gonna be real good. I do notice the lipstick, so I don't know if that's a thing. Like I said, I haven't seen the show. Seen the film, so Captain Marvel, not just yet, but from what everyone's saying there, you know how people read into things, but this is how I'm gonna read directly into this trailer, which I actually really do love. Like, I really think the trailer was dope. It didn't show anything. It really brought you in through the recap and through the music and that excellent Tony voiceover, like bringing you back to where it all began, how these characters interacted and grown together, the team. And this is mostly the core team, and we didn't even see Hawkeye in the last film for the Avengers. Actually, that was the first one he ever sat out on. So us seeing him since the last time we seen him in Age of Ultron with his family, and we didn't even realize that. We were so surprised that he was just really a regular dude. That was like an excellent balance. So now that you see, if half of the world was eliminated, imagine if it wasn't just his daughter. Imagine if it was all his family. Everything. His everything. And remember, we didn't realize how decent of a household. He was just a regular family guy. And he was thorough the way he was already based on his life experiences, probably prior or just being in the field. He really did live two lives. Now imagine when his life as Hawkeye is now, that's all he has left. He lost everything. There is no, we can't even figure out which one was the mask. He is Hawkeye. That's it. There's nothing else. Nothing left. You took everything away, and all that was left was Hawkeye. And I think Hawkeye gonna be a problem. I hope they do something with him. I never felt that he needed a film. He was a great supporting character. If you ever do it, I think he should be like in if they make a Shield movie or Nick Fury movie, I like to see him in it. I like to see him paired up with them, or like Scarlett Johansson, like do a Black Widow film, or Black Widow and Hawkeye film. Now that'd be kind of dope. Now I think that would be real dope, because you'll see how they could fight off each other. But we'll use that another time. We'll do that another time. But yeah, man, so that's the trailer. But let's really get into it. First off, I really want to get into the Avengers Endgame poster. I'm gonna just bring that up right now. Okay. Just so we could get into it. Now, a lot of people actually noticed that they didn't go with the grayscale with the red motif, and I think that was kind of like to symbolize blood, plus red is passion. So like, it was a very good choice. It was a very good choice to do that. Make it black and white, but only lift up one color. And why not the red? Red for blood, red for passion, right? But I like how they make sure that they have front and center the first Avenger. And I love how they have Chris Evans like posted up in the front You see actually Captain Marvel, and if you ask me, is it me or it look like this is an upgraded suit? So yeah, and they usually give different suits for each film, so this is gonna be a new suit, and it looks kind of dope too, to be quite honest, man. And I like how you see Thor is the next head you see. The real big characters you're gonna see is Iron Man, Thor, and Cap. But it's interesting how the next figure you see most prominent, you actually see is Captain Marvel. So she may in fact actually have a bigger role. Now I don't know if the stories, if they shot two versions, I could get into that another day. But for right now, I mean, I think she's gonna, and they say she's highly OP. She's gonna be the one that can actually, I mean, take it to Thanos next to Thor physically. Cap is like the heart and soul of the team, and in a way, you could say Tony's kind of the soul, but he's the brains. He was the first movie. You know what I'm saying? Though the first Avenger was and always will be Captain America. Well, unless you want to go into the story about the original Captain America. Well, the Captain America titles would be accurate because they kind of wrote in, said that during the Tuskegee experiment, there was actually a black test soldier. You know what I mean? But that's just a small caveat. But you see Hawkeye right down in the lower left-hand corner. I really like this post. I find it quite interesting that you see nobody else, all the dusted ones. So I wonder if this is going to be your main Avenger team in this film. I like how they actually have my man War Machine. Notice how he had the bigger suit. People forget, like, there's a small president in the comics because the later issues of War Machine, he's kind of become a cyborg of sorts. I never understood how, and why I always wanted to read back into and see how the hell did that happen. Because he kind of looked like Cyborg from DC, but he's kind of is a cyborg now. I think, like, when his eyes, like, is red, like legit, like a mechanical eye, I think he has, like, but it's embedded, so him losing his ability to walk or having very little due to the accident of Civil War, it has become a cyborg of sorts because now he needs a machine to walk. He needs a machine to get around. Now, so everything he's going to do is he's going to have to jump in the suit. You know what I'm saying? But again, like, and it's interesting, they have Okoye is going to be prominent in this one too. So I'm real interested to see how much, because she's actually bigger than, what's that, Nebula. Ant-Man, I find Paul Rudd funny. And they have Thanos off in the background. I think I'm like John Campia, and very few others, but I think he's not the only one online, but I'll jump into it. I have this weird feeling that Thanos isn't going to be the big bad per se. He will be the force that looms in the background. I think you want to keep Thanos around for down the line. People say that they think that there's going to be another big bad. Now, I'm not 100% sure if that's going to be the case, but you would want a bad, unless most of the fight scenes that they're going to have that are going to be different will be via time travel, but that's never been a confirmed decision from the Russo brothers. We really don't know. These are just floating theories that's out there online. But anyway, let's get off the poster now, because I really want to break down this trailer and the things that we did see. Now, I want to really not go via shot by shot per se, but I want to like pull certain particular things that I want us to talk about that makes us speculate a little bit more about what the end product. Like, will Tony and Pepper have a conclusion? Because we start off with him having a message towards her, and the issues that they always had with Pepper and Tony, which I liked, was because as Tony tries to his story arc has always been to find the better version of himself in a way. You know, he's growing. He's trying to figure things out and becoming an Avenger. And the visions is all navigating towards himself from being less of a narcissistic business prick to being more about people, about his team. Can he be able to tap into his most sincerest and vulnerable of selves and be vulnerable and project himself out like that outwardly, instead of being kind of so shelled in behind the alcohol, being crass in the ass and hiding behind all the, because I think that's genuinely who he is. He's a fun personality, but I also think that a lot of that also masks the deeper parts of himself that he's not comfortable accessing in front of people. But as you can see, as he gets deeper into the team, you're starting to find more and more moments like that that's covered with that cynical, narcissistic attitude. You know, we noticed it when he said something about the coffee grinds and what was it, Civil War, in the middle of a deep conversation. Then he brings it back to what happened in Africa. It really bothered him. But that's just how he deals, how he talks, you know. So the question is, again, will Tony and Pepper have a conclusion? And I think they will. I don't know if Tony will die. I think there is a possibility the AI aspect would be an interesting way to take him over. But I think, if anything, he'll probably be more of a financier. I think he will sit out most of it, pop up more as an Alfred to the team. And then eventually you'll always bring Tony back. I think they'll always bring Tony back. Now, again, next up, we're going to talk about Hawkeye. Because like we said before, I think Hawkeye is going to have the biggest, most deepest. I think this is where we're going to have most of the drama. I really do believe. I think his loss is going to be at the apex. I think he doesn't just lose his daughter. I think he loses his whole family. When they say 50-50, that doesn't mean they're gonna go 50% of your family, 50% of your, no, it's 50-50 of the population, and that gets dealt out how it gets dealt out. Some people may come home and find their whole house empty. Who's to say a whole family won't completely just disappear? It's a luck of the draw. And that can't happen on a worldwide level. Several people just coming home and everything. I don't care if you had a family of 8. All of them was gone. Just you. Imagine how you deal with that. There's going to be some people that'll come home and no one's lost in their house. And they were lucky. But they're going to have family members that are gone. Of course, it's going to touch somebody. Everyone gets touched. It's all about how close to home does it hit. Inside. And as the water ripples out. And I think he's going to catch the worst of it within this team. And I think he's going to have maybe the final blow. If it comes to a fight down the line with Thanos, per se, I think he'll have the most invested. And I think that'll be kind of dope. The human being went at the Titan. And he stood tall against other Titans. And he went at the Mad Titan. And delivered the final blow. It'd be very David and Goliath. Next up, the one I've always wanted to talk about. Always, always, always. Let's go. Cap and Romanoff. Cap and Black Widow. You heard it here first. One from from Winter Soldier. One thing me and you're gonna hear this name up again, T. We talk movies. Maybe one day down the line, he'll come in and into the fold, and we'll talk some movies together onto the on the channel. But we've discussed this, and I've actually from way back when Winter Soldier came out, that we loved how Winter Soldier, usually there's a romantic counterpart.
5 years ago, I was escorting a nuclear engineer out of Iran. Somebody shot out my tires near Odessa. We lost control, went straight over a cliff. I pulled us out, but the Winter Soldier was there. I was covering my engineer, so he shot him straight through me. Soviet slug, no rifling. Bye-bye bikinis.
Yeah, I bet you look terrible in them now.
Just to kind of like, it gives you someone to fight for, and kind of makes the movie breathe a little, because especially in the action film, the subtleties between Black Widow and Cap were so dope, because they were two different types of people. And I love how they started off with her trying to hook him up with someone, and some of the moments, even when she kissed him, I don't like how they dialed that back in Age of Ultron. Like it didn't matter. Nah, that was
exactly
well
what I was
crafted. Seeds were peppered throughout the film, and I felt that through the course of the Avengers films, you will see them naturally grow into a romance. Tell me, am I bullshitting when you saw Age of Ultron, when you seen that whole shit when her touching this motherfucking nigga's hand, and she calms the beast down, and everybody's like, oh my gosh. You know what I mean? Wow, I can't believe what just happened. You know what I felt? I was like, what the hell is this bullshit? What the hell is this bullshit? I could not believe that they did that. I was like, what's going on? Now they got a romance? When did this happen? When did this happen? It looks so forced and so out the way. And I got theories on why, but I'm not going to go all the way into it. We'll touch on that another time. I always felt the Russo's brothers knew this was the direction they were going to go. And I believe it's in the comics. I definitely see the one animated future series on the team. They actually have a kid together. So again, I really think that was the direction, and they would have real interesting relationship. I liked their parents.
You don't need practice.
Everybody needs practice.
It was not my first kiss since 1945. I'm 95. I'm not dead.
Nobody special, though?
Believe it or not, it's kind of hard to find someone with shared life experience.
Oh, it's all right. Just make something up.
It was so, they had chemistry. They really did. And when the soldier noticed it, there was a nice little spark there. So for them to just totally take it off the table like that, I felt like that was agenda driven by the director that picked it up. That was like, no, I do not like this storyline. Let's pair her off with him, Bruce Banner. Because it was real awkward how Cap just went out of the nowhere to tell Bruce Banner, yeah, that wasn't real with me. With her and you, that's real. Really, bro? Really? Something peppered ever so nicely. You just snatched it off the table to Bruce, who's never had any kind of comic book history linked with Black Widow like that romantically. His love interest was always Betty. Always. That was the weirdest choice I ever seen when I seen that movie. I never liked it. I'll be honest with you. I never liked that in Age of Ultron. That was something that always rubbed me wrong. I said that years ago. And I felt like the Russo brothers felt like when they got this film, they finally wanted to set things back to where it was supposed to be. That's why in what was it? The Infinity War. What was the first thing when Bruce saw Natasha? What did my man Falcon say?
This is awkward.
I really felt like it wasn't awkward because she hasn't seen him in years. I think it was awkward because in the years you were gone, Natasha was with who? she was on the run with Cap. I really believe they had a relationship. There's a reason why in Infinity War she showed up directly with Cap. Even though Falcon was there and yeah, he would fly, it makes sense because of positioning, but it was just the way it was. Nah, I think they're going to fix that situation and bring it back to them too, which I think they make a real nice couple. Like in terms of like how they play off the energy, I just felt like they have more chemistry, on-screen chemistry together than she has with Bruce. It just felt too forced. It didn't feel earned. I feel like them ending up together is well earned. And I have a whole theory around it, but we're not gonna get into that hour because that can get a little extra. But but I do feel like there was a directorial reasoning, and I really felt like the director Josh Whedon felt like no. He didn't like that being sparked off in the Russo brothers film. Not saying that it was direct shots to them per se, but I just think he didn't like that choice. And I think he specifically wanted to change that. So when the Russo brothers came back for Civil War now, they kind of made it look like he was going to mess with, I forgot his first girlfriend's name right now. But her, I think it was her niece or something like that. You know what I mean? And Agent Carter. So it was like, all right, cool. It kind of came... But you know what I mean. But she was written into the film. You know what I mean. So now when we get to that part of it, it was like, all right, cool. This is the way they're gonna have to go. But now guess what they landed at because of Civil War. They were able to get what? Infinity War 1 and 2, Infinity War and Endgame. When they picked that up, I think they said, you know what, we're going right back around. And they made sure that they just threw it right out there when you first intro them together.
This is awkward.
Because now we're putting it back to the story and the storyline with Cap and Black Widow, and we're going to send them back onto the course that we set off in Civil War, their first film with the franchise. That you heard it here first. This is March 18th. I've been saying this for like mad long. I think I said this over a year ago, but that was me and T talking about it. But I'm bringing it to you guys here, and I want to bring you in a conversation. And what do you think about my theory? You know what I mean? Does it make more sense now when you watch the films, what I'm saying, in terms of that was the course that they wanted to set them both on, Steve and Natasha. But because you had a new director come in and they wanted to have Bruce and Natasha paired off, then they had to say, all right, now the next movie, the guy that set off the first romance, he said, all right, you know what, let's pivot in Civil War and let's see him have a romantic interest in Peggy Carter. I think that's her first name. Peggy Carter's her niece. And I think that's her niece, Agent Carter. And let's do it that way. And because remember, it was after Civil War. Because of Civil War, because of Winter Soldier, they got Civil War. And because of Civil War and how they handled an ensemble cast of that magnitude, they were able to easily go right into Infinity War, and they were gonna have to get Endgame. And I think now they were like, now we're gonna fix it. But what do you think? That's my theory. What do you think? You know what I mean? Do you believe my reasonings for it? Do you first believe that Cap and that's what that scene Anthony Mackie as Falcon said when he said
This is awkward.
He really meant that it was awkward to see Bruce, just seeing Natasha being there with Bruce, or Natasha seeing Bruce while she's with her new boyfriend Cap. And let me know, do you think that my theory on how and why, does that make sense to you? Leave it in below. Next up, will Cap die? Now everybody's asking, will Cap die? There's a lot of precedents in the comics for it to happen. Do I think that Cap will die? I think it's very possible. If you give me a line, I'll say 30. Under 35. Under 35% chance that he'll die. I'll say 30, 35, yeah. I don't want him to, but I think it could lend to the film much better. Or perhaps he fakes his death. Or he dies and someone snatched him away, so when they bring him back, it's like a vacation for Chris Evans. Or when they bring him back, they could recast and not change up continuity, because it'll be like a long time. You expect him to look slightly different, but in the context of the film, it's only slight, but we'll all know it's just a new actor. You know, it's possible. And then Bucky has President for taking on a moniker. So has Falcon. So there's a lot of things that you could play with it. Even just to shuffle up the story a little bit. Just to have some fun stories. I mean, there's so much storylines and plots in the comic books to mine that they could play with. You know? And next up, will Tony die? Now, man, if I have to have a line, see, I want to say put the line at 30, 35 like Cap, because it's hard for me to think that it's more likely that he would die over Cap or that Cap would die over him, because Cap is now building up a lot of sincere popularity with the fans. Do you want to take that now? Or do you take Cap, who has been running this on sheer charisma? But I think neither has to go, but I think they'll take one. I'm just not sure which one, because I want to say they'll do Iron Man and keep Cap. But then I can see there's so much more weight to it if Cap dies. In a lot of ways. Because he fights on the ground like no armor really. You know what I mean? But Tony really goes in too. See how I'm going back and forth? I don't know, man. If I have to put a line, and to be fun, who's likely to die? You know what? I'll say 35-40 Tony. Because he got stabbed once by Thanos and didn't die. We thought that was going to be the moment. He didn't die then. I don't think they'll do a fake death again with him. If they'd have to really put him down. I'm going to go with that. I mean, just to be fun, even though I want to, I jump between either. I might have to put the line 35-40 for RDJ, for Robert Downey Jr. Yeah, man. All right, so next up, where's Thanos? Be honest, you ain't need Thanos in the trailer. Where's Thanos in this trailer? You don't need him. You don't need him. Yeah, that's it. You don't need him. Look, man, Thanos made such a significant weight on the universe in the first film that these trailers, you don't. I think and I really think there's going to be another trailer. If they do, they'll show him at the very, very end. I don't think you need to. And they don't need to show a lot of Thanos in this one. You just always let his presence be known in the background, whether he's the voiceover or the end caps. But and there's an argument of whether or not Thanos is going to be the big bad. Thanos could just walk this one off, and this is not even the thing. It's just about them setting this whole thing back. And on this, they encounter another villain. That can happen. I mean, and that would be interesting because it'll be something that we never seen coming. Like, they haven't fought him again. And we'll leave Thanos again for him. He could show back up again. And he could be their looming villain. their arch nemesis. I mean, look, I'm having fun with the ideas. There's so much you could do. There's so much to mine around Thanos. He is a very unique villain in and of itself. Very Shakespearean, if you will, in how he philosophizes, how he looks at things. Though his distorted view of how to handle an imbalance in nature in a very egalitarian way as he sees it in his mind, because the sacrifice is going to be impartial. It'll be the roll of the dice. So, again, we ask, where is Thanos? We'll see. We'll see soon. And last but not least, Captain Marvel's intro. Yo. I still haven't seen the film. Still haven't seen it. There's a lot of people arguing about it. I mean, I can only go off what I see in the trailers. I mean, I wasn't really impressed with her trailers as a character, but I wasn't really mad anyway. It was just good to see her on screen. It didn't jog my excitement any more or less. Outside of it being another comic book MCU movie. So when I see her in the trailer, it's good to finally see them together. And some people kind of effing it up for me. I gotta go see this movie because I think they said they show her meet them at the very end of her film, but I'll find out. Needless to say, the fact that we could see them all together in this, well, not all of them, just her and Thor, the two powerhouses of the MCU, apart from like Hulk, but they're like outworldly. The Hulk is still a human-based character, sci-fi type of character. Dr. Jekyll, Mrs. Hyde, or Mr. Hyde, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, or I hope I'm saying that right. That's what he is. He's an Earth-based character. To see these outworldly characters, even though she's from Earth, but she's mixed in, her DNA is mixed with something outworldly, and her powers are originated out there, and she's linked out there as well as down to Earth. To see them both share the screen together and look face to face the way she did, she had a little smirk. She's a little cute in it. Like, she still looks a little stiff. So I see what people are saying. I probably might not have noticed it, or might not have stood out as much, even though it doesn't stand out as much as everyone else harps on it. It probably wouldn't have if so much people didn't talk about it. It's just so apparent. But it doesn't piss me. I don't know if it's like her tick or she's just a real wooden person, but it didn't really throw me off. You know what I mean? At least not from what I seen in the trailer. It wasn't really a thing to me that I need to dissect and like, you know, make a big issue out. Nah, like, I like how it ends. It's very MCU-esque. You can still tell that Thor is going through it, but you still crack wise in his own way because that's just how he copes. And I like the fact that they're embracing Chris Hemsworth being a naturally funny person, or maybe just more comedic as an actor, a more comedic actor. And it works right even in the context of the film. And I like that they put it in the trailer. It was a good way to exit. And they was making sure they did that while her movie's out there flying high right now anyway. Further, faster, higher, and all of that shit. But anyways, man. But that's it for the review. This is your host, Nove718. And as always, like, comment, and subscribe. And until I have a better outro, chill.